The projects that we're most excited about are the projects that support the mission of local churches. At Oxford Baptist, they talk about a relationship with Jesus Christ changes everything. And finishing this project and leaving with their team, the level of ownership from tech to worship people just makes me feel like they're going to use these things well. They're going to invest into their church, their ministry, and serve their community in Woodstock really well.
My name's Tyler Bowles, and I serve as the associate pastor here at Oxford Baptist Church. We decided that it was time to build a new church a long time ago. We finally got to a place where our facility was nowhere near big enough. Some of the pain points of our old space were a lack of lighting control. We had blinds up in the ceiling for the skylights that didn't work anymore. We didn't really have any stage lights. It made it really challenging to do any video work at all when the lighting conditions constantly changed and there was nothing there that you could really do. It was really run down in terms of a lot of maintenance stuff that had to be done. So it didn't really fit the way that we were worshiping. There was also just stuff from over the years and decades that people graciously volunteered and helped with, but maybe didn't install correctly, whether they were underpowering subwoofers. I remember we had two quite large 15 amp subs on one 400 watt amplifier, because I was told it'll make things quieter. They didn't want the subs too loud. The best option really was to build.
We were brought into the project. It was recommended to them by their builders that they reached out to us. They had been working with a local consultant contractor that they were growing frustrated with, that they weren't able to get responsive information from. When we sat down with them, they presented a vision for the space. And when we shared projects similar to what they were looking to do, we realized pretty quickly that the budget they had needed to grow 4 or 5 or 6 times to match these other projects. And we challenged them on this and looked for clarity, and they really rallied to sort of stretch and to grow, committed to their vision for what they wanted to do with the space, and we saw their AV budget grow. We saw it grow 2 or 3 times from where it started. We didn't see it grow to some of these other projects. We decided that we would prioritize, like we try to always do, key infrastructure pieces that might be costly or unable to fix later. A real loudspeaker system designed for the space. We ended up using a world-class solution for Bose Professional, a Showmatch system that sounds great and that matches what we've done in other big spaces.
I really, really love the speakers though. I've been blown away by the clarity and the quality and just the fit and finish, and it just sounds so good. It really makes it, anytime you listen to like music anywhere else, it's just not good anymore. So we've been playing games in here and they love having the music just cranked up and feeling the bass while they're playing dodgeball.
We reused some of their infrastructure and other audio pieces. Most of the stage goods was stuff they already owned. We ended up using big, bright projectors from Christie Digital to do a great big canvas as a double wide screen across the back of their stage.
It just seemed so big. It's different than what we'd had before. The response I heard from a lot of people was just kind of a wow. It's just been so helpful, I think, to have a center screen. We had tossed around the idea of having 2 screens on the side, and with having one in the center, it's just easier for everyone to sit and look through the middle, and they don't feel like they have to turn one side or the other.
Broadcast was really important to the church, and it was an important part of their outreach as the first place people visit or experience their church. So we looked at the needs for lighting and broadcast woven together. The ability to have good camera shots requires good lighting. We stripped back what might be color and movement in favor of focusing on a nice clean wash, and that left us with just some ProLight ellipsoidal fixtures and a basic sort of wash across the stage. Lots of room where they could add more fixtures, narrower lenses, move forward in the future, but prioritize that infrastructure piece that allowed their lighting to support both live and broadcast.
This is also, for me, the first time I've ever had any lighting control. And so that's been kind of a learning curve for myself, and it's been a change for our church. The ability to dim the lights a little bit during a service while we're singing, especially on special services like Christmas Eve, but also be able to kind of direct attention on stage and say, like, this is where people are. We also decided to put in a building controller, and people really like that. It's just easy to go into any of the rooms, push a button, the projector turns on, the speakers work right away. It makes it really simple for people to get around. the atrium, we decided to put some pendant speakers up in there in the ceiling, and people love them. They like to be out there and hear the music, or for moms that want to go out with a kid that's a little bit loud, it's a great space to still be able to be part and hear the worship and the message, and that with a couple TVs in there has been a really great space for us. When I think of working with Church AV, it was so good that they just listened to what we needed and they wanted to implement it. We had talked with a couple other AV companies as well, and while we were doing that, it was clear that they didn't do churches. Working with Church AV, I appreciated their expertise in churches, and I appreciated, while we worked with them, it seemed like kind of a dialogue of what about this, and then they give some recommendations and we could work back and forth. We were able to make changes along the way, even sometimes when they were probably later than they hoped for, and they were very gracious with that. And so that was probably some of my favorite parts of working with Church AV.
The projects that we're most excited about are the projects that support the mission of local churches. At Oxford Baptist, they talk about a relationship with Jesus Christ changes everything. And finishing this project and leaving it with their team, the level of ownership from tech to worship people just makes me feel like they're going to use these things well. They're going to invest into their church, their ministry, and serve their community in Woodstock really well. I'm genuinely looking forward to seeing how the team at Oxford Baptist uses these tools to serve the Oxford community for years to come.